I don't know how I moved. Hell, I don't remember deciding to, but the next thing I knew, Ashley and I were backing away, keeping our eyes locked on whatever the hell that thing was. My gut was screaming at me not to turn back, and then it whistled again, closer. That was it. Not making me build a fucking raft. You know what I mean? Like,
I'd have been the one to smuggle in the booze and the fags and smoke and flirt with the boys.
The image of this thing made me wake up. So it is like this kind of like hunched over gremlin-y entity with a melty face where I can't really see the details of its face, but I can tell it is staring at me.
Welcome to Ghost Huns and Two Girls, One Ghost.
Back to the room.
4 girls, 1 ghost today.
2 Girls, One Ghost and Ghost Huns. This is the most haunted podcast of America.
We started calling ourselves that as a joke, but it very much became super true. Like, our listeners constantly report that there's only problems listening to our podcast. And sometimes it's just like, things will skip around in episodes and there will be glitches. But a lot of the times, I feel like we're the only podcast that will like tell you if you're scared, like, don't listen. Because like most people want the listens. But there's just been so many people who, depending on the topic, will experience really terrible things like car crashes and
oh my god,
horrible luck.
We're really advertising. Come listen to us. No. But on the flip side,
listen to 2 Girls, One Ghost.
I don't think anyone's died listening.
No.
Well, I guess we haven't gotten emails.
I suppose you wouldn't know, yeah.
Yeah. But we've also had listeners who have been saved by our podcast. Like, it will, like, say they're driving and a word or a portion of the podcast will repeat over and over. Like, it will say, stop. And they'll just be like, oh, I guess I should stop. And then a car in front of them will run a red light or something. Whoa. So we're not all bad hauntings over here.
It's not necessarily that our podcast is haunted. We think that maybe it's just the energy that all of our listeners bring to the space. It just allows the veil to be like maybe a little bit thinner when people listen to our podcast.
Oh my god!
Experience more.
We're haunted.
Yeah, you're haunted as fuck.
Yeah.
Well, people have said that ours is they hear stuff when they're listening to our podcast, but the main thing is that our hexes do work.
Yeah,
your hexes.
We've hexed France, the country, and it's gone to shit.
Yeah, and then all the
congratulations.
When did you do
Thank
that?
you so much.
We did it recently, and like everyone keeps being like, "Can you hex Trump, please?" We're like, "Yeah, he's on our list."
Oh my gosh, you guys are powerful.
I know, we have no idea, and we shouldn't be responsible because we're not responsible.
What kind of hexing? Like, is this lights dim, black dresses, candlelight? Holding hands.
Not even that. We make up a poem that usually has like the word fingering in it or something, and then we say it together. Sometimes with a wine, sometimes not, and then they just fucking come true. Like then, the government collapsed, the Louvre got robbed, and this was like a week after.
We're to blame.
We're to blame.
You're the Louvre robbers.
Yeah, but then those robbers were actually really fit, weren't they? Yeah, we should do Trump, see what happens.
Yeah, I think we're going to try.
Yeah, you are welcome.
Very welcome.
We did do Conor McGregor at a live show. I haven't heard anything bad happening to him,
but give it time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I
would be scared.
Hexes, they happen when they need to happen.
Exactly.
You set them out there, you give them to the universe, and the universe like plays around with it like Play-Doh a little bit, and then is like, okay, let's serve it.
But have you had any bad luck personally since doing hexes? Because that's something that we hear a lot, that like things will come back for you.
If anything, things are going really well.
Oh my gosh, that's so good.
We feel so like justified in all of the ones that we do that we're like, it couldn't possibly come back because this is only good karma because these people deserve it. We take requests. So if anyone write in and be like, oh, I've got a shit ex-husband, we're like, fine, we'll do it. So tell us about the gift that you've just been gifted.
Oh my gosh. Will you hold this? Sorry.
We
Excuse
literally
my
1
entire...
minute ago opened this.
Yeah.
I'm so
I have
intrigued. This is like a
There's
treasure
that.
trove.
No.
You can't see and you're just listening. Two Girls, One Ghost are sat in a studio full of like haunted treasure.
This is exactly what we want our studio to be like.
Yeah, this is goals. What?
Okay.
What is it? What
We
is
opened
it?
this like 10 minutes ago. This
my
Ouija
God.
board. That is, you can see all the like the scratch marks
It's
and
been
how
used.
yeah, the
That-
paint
Yeah,
is
it looks like a
basically
big
eaten away.
penis.
Also,
It does
looks
kind of
like
look like a
someone-
penis.
Someone's
Oh, wow,
rubbed
now
out
I
some
see
of the
it.
letters. That's creepy.
Yeah.
What
the
letters
note
are they
says-
that been rubbed?
The note says, "Dear Sabrina and Corinne, I'm gifting you my great-grandmother's Ouija board. I learned recently that she was very into seances in her young adult life. I don't think it has anything attached to it, but I don't want to keep it in my home." From the 1920s to 1950s, my great-grandmother would have been alive 120 years ago.
No, if she
wait.
was still.
Oh.
She would be 120 years old if she was still
Yeah, yeah.
alive.
From Isabel.
Wow.
great
Are you going to
grandmother's
use
Ouija
it?
No.
Well, I think we'll keep it
We'll
and love
honor
it,
her memory.
but I don't think
Yeah.
we're going to use it.
It didn't
Basically-
come with a planchette either, so
We
I feel like-
would 100% use that.
We would have done it already.
Yeah.
That there's a witchboard museum in Salem that has this man's like I don't
Collection.
know, like a small percentage
hundreds
of his
and hundreds
collection
of Ouija boards.
of Ouija boards, and
Oh.
you can learn all about like the history of it. But they have a communal Ouija board there, so you can go sit on the couch in like the back corner, surrounded by 100 Ouija boards of varying decades old, and then try to play a Ouija board. So we actually did do that.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
That is so up my alley. I cannot
Yeah.
wait. Yeah, we have to do it. And I feel bad because Sabrina, weren't you in the UK? We should have
I
done something.
was. I know.
How was it?
It was amazing. So I went to Edinburgh, Scotland for a week, and I was there
Amazing.
for Halloween, and I got haunted. Yeah, and then I went to York. There you go.
You can't just
And-
say, I got haunted and
Oh, well, yeah, I was gonna get back. I was gonna circle back. I deserved it. I tempted fate. So I went on a ghost tour, the City of the Dead tour. I did a double dead tour. So I went through the Edinburgh vaults, and then we went to Greyfriars Kirkyard. You know, the two most haunted places in Edinburgh.
Yeah, love it.
And I'm solo. I went on this tour with a bunch of strangers by myself, and I was like, "Hey, this is my idea of fun." And we are at Greyfriars Kirkyard, and we're wrapping up the tour, and our tour guide takes us in front of Bloody Mackenzie's mausoleum, which is the most haunted, and she just goes, "Does anyone want to play a game?" And not thinking, the word "sure" comes out of my mouth. I'm like, "Sure," and she
The only sure to come out of the
Yeah,
group
no one
of
else says
people.
anything. There was like a 13-year-old girl who was mad that I got picked. She wanted
Fuck
it.
you, bitch.
Yeah, I'd be
Yeah.
like, fuck off. This is my time.
And so she pulls me up, she gives me a flashlight, and she's like, "Shine this into the mausoleum and repeat after me." And she says, "Say Bloody Mackenzie 3 times." And I'm about to say it, and the first thought in my head is, Corinne's going to be so disappointed in me. My second thought is, I probably shouldn't be doing this. I know better. And my third thought is, it's too late now. I have to put on a good show for the rest of these strangers that I don't know and I'll never see again. But I have to leave a lasting impact, of course. So I do it. And I repeat basically this like poem that is calling Bloody Mackenzie to show himself to me. And nothing happens. And the whole time I'm saying it in my head, I'm like, I don't actually mean it. Haha, this is a funny joke. Like, intentions, boundaries, don't touch me. Nothing happens. It's totally fine. I leave the tour and I go back to my hotel to stay the night. And I, just to be safe, I do like a cleansing little ritual. I shake it off. I, again, set boundaries, say I'm surrounded by love, light, positivity, nothing negative or ill intent can come follow me. And I go to bed. And I had a really weird nightmare that I woke up from where I'm walking what is presumably like the old Edinburgh closes, and all these people are kind of moving out of the way because there's someone down at the end of the street that's staring at me, and they're all moving out of the way so that this entity could have a clear look at me.
Fuck off.
And I see the image of this thing made me wake up. So it is like this kind of like hunched over gremlin-y entity with a melty face where I can't really see the details of its face, but I can tell it is staring at me and I don't like it. And I immediately wake up and I'm like, didn't like that. I out loud say, nope, no thanks. And then I try to fall back to sleep and I'm laying flat on my stomach. I'm like a sardine, like hands by my side, legs close together. I'm still very conscious, fully awake, when all of a sudden I feel hands grab my ankles and start slowly spreading my legs apart.
What the fuck?
And
Pervy dirty ghost.
well,
That's what I thought. I was
sounds
like, it was
very
trying to have sex with
sexual.
you.
But so I'm like, I don't like this, and I immediately try to close my legs. I cannot move any part of my body. I can't do anything. I can't see anything. I can't move. I'm in my head yelling no until finally I'm able to like verbally say no out loud. And then instantly I'm able to move my body again, like slam my legs shut again. And I flip over and I just scream like, absolutely not, get out.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was the first time I've ever had sleep paralysis. And I for sure had something follow me home from the ghost tour.
Oh my God.
That is horrific. So you've
Yep.
never had a sleep paralysis thing ever?
Never. And I truly think that day we had an episode of Two Girls, One Ghost come out where I was talking about how glad I am I've never had sleep paralysis. Granted, we recorded it like 2 weeks prior. But yeah, then I guess I spoke too soon.
What the
Fuck. I don't want a horrific impression of the UK you have now.
Honestly,
Sexually
do it
assaulted
again.
by a demon.
I do. Okay, here's the thing is I think, because yes, it sounds sexual in nature, but it didn't feel sexual. It felt like it wanted to scare me. And most sleep paralysis, I feel like happens when you're laying face up and then people see an entity or feel it.
Right, it's like
I
the classic, like, don't fall asleep on your back or you'll
Right.
experience sleep paralysis.
I think had I been sleeping on my back, I would have seen the same entity from the dream, which would have been scary on its own. But because I was face down in a pillow, it was like, well, I need to do something physical to scare her.
Is that how you sleep?
Me? Oh.
No.
I sleep like that.
Do you?
Do you?
Oh
Yeah.
my God. You
Face
don't
down,
do that.
pillow.
Yeah.
I sleep like Dracula. I'm on
Oh no, that scares the
Okay,
shit.
me too. Me too.
Well, that's better for your skin. So
Yeah, I
you
just
guys
do
are
that.
winning.
The mummy.
Literally, like I just go straight back, like
Yeah, you do look dead.
Like a dead body.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's quite scary
I
because
don't
when we
move,
slept
so
in
like
it.
the sheets never change. So like if you truly checked on me like 4 hours later, you'd be like, wait, is she dead? 'Cause, like,
Yeah.
Is she breathing?
Me and Susie have shared a haunted house together when we've slept in a haunted house, and I sleep like I'm awake. I'm like like I've got serious issues, and I turned around and she's about this far from my face, but like hands like that, like fucking Dracula.
Rest in
I'm
peace.
like,
Oh my God.
Yeah.
is she okay?
Well, I don't
My
really know
grandma
sound.
sleeps like that too, and it is really scary because she's the age where you're like, you got to be a little worried.
Yeah,
Literally, and like I go into this like really like slow breathing. So you would think I'm a bit dead because I don't really
Oh my
snore, and I'm a bit like so it's like nothing's happening.
Hibernating.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
Your heart rate.
if we were in the 1500s, you both probably would have been mistaken as dead and thrown in a body pit with the plague victims.
Yeah. Me and Sabrina would be fine with snoring all over the place.
Yeah.
So wait, you only get sleep paralysis when you're lying on your. So you get sleep paralysis, but you'd only see something if you're facing up.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I think
Oh.
it's more common to get sleep paralysis when you're laying on your back.
Yeah.
But I am proof that it can happen no matter what.
Oh my God.
Jesus, sorry you got haunted in Edinburgh. Did anything happen in York? Because York's really haunted.
No, no, and I even stayed at the Guy Fawkes Inn, which is a haunted hotel, and it was peaceful. I guess I didn't tempt any ghosts then. I didn't, you know, dare them
You
to
weren't
come
saying,
haunt
"Come at
me.
me."
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sad we didn't get to see you.
I know.
Oh
But
my
we're
God, did you get
definitely-
your hair done in London?
I didn't, but thank you for the recommendations. I just got my hair cut yesterday, but I've been
Oh,
wanting to
great.
get it cut since before my trip. So when I was in London, I was like, I'll ask Susie and Hannah.
Oh,
And so
I
thank
can't
you for the
believe I didn't see
recommendations.
you.
I
Okay, we're
know.
gonna have to resurrect all of this.
I think I was in Turkey at the time,
Salem.
and yeah, very
Yeah.
sad.
We'll do a proper Halloween
We'll come
thing.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're coming to set. I want like a full-on US Halloween. I want to go to the
Yes.
Lizzie Borden house because that's close, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's yeah, from Salem, it's probably like a 60 to 90-minute drive.
Amazing.
We'll
And we
drive
can
you.
stay there, can't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. We did.
Yeah,
we
we'll-
rented it out and
Hey,
stayed the
this
night.
I'm gonna brag real quick. We know the owners.
Well, because we rented the
No,
house.
but US Ghost Adventures, that company
Oh
owns
yeah,
them.
and now
Yeah.
we've schmoozed.
We've schmoozed.
Oh my God.
We have an in
We
with the
have it.
dead.
We have the contact.
Yeah.
So you can ask them if we can rent it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, great.
Maybe we should do that on actual Halloween. Really
Mm.
tempt
This is all
fate.
admin, but
Yeah.
I reckon as per a Ghost Huns episode, should we just get into some stories?
Yeah, great idea.
And if
Otherwise, we're going to be here for an hour chatting about
yeah, doing
all the
like
places
booking
we're
flights.
hey,
I'll be like, I'm gonna
hey everyone
now.
listening, you have something to look forward to next year, but right now you're
Yeah.
gonna listen to us book it and plan
Yeah.
it.
going. Exactly, yeah. I'm glad that someone's responsible, aka Susie.
So if you guys have a story, great. If not, me and Hannah can just yap away, and we've both got a listener story, I think.
Yeah.
Both set in America, because I'm
Perfect.
sure you haven't heard enough American stories. We'll get into them. But do you guys have a story you want to kick off with, or do you want to listen to some?
I mean, we have plenty of personal stories we can share in addition to what I just shared. But why don't you start and we'll do like a trade off? Because I just told you my haunting. So now it's your turn.
Oh my God. And also we me and Hannah for Patreon went to Devon, and we stayed in this lovely little cottage by the sea, and we have actual evidence of something. I don't know whether it's paranormal.
It's right. Well, you know what? I'm going to clip it up and I'm going to send it to you guys.
Please do.
Basically, what happened was we went to Susie's friend's house, well, the friend of the pod, and it's this gorgeous cottage in Devon by the sea, beautiful little town, and we were doing like table tipping, but we'd had this conversation beforehand. Like we were sat there for ages, weren't we, Sus? Like just talking about what it is, what like the differences between believing and seeing, and whether you're skeptical, but is it energy? And like we just had this massive conversation about it. Then we were like, right, we'll do some table tipping. Sat around the table for a while, nothing happened. And then we lifted our hands off the table, and all of a sudden there's this massive like smash. Like it wasn't a tiny tip, it was a boom.
Yeah, the table violently moved down,
Yeah.
back up,
What?
and like,
And you
we've got
can
it on
see
camera.
you can see our hands hovering above the table.
And like nothing like this has ever happened before.
Yeah.
And also me and Hannah are kind of like, we're skeptical but want to believe, we're not sure.
Yeah, because I was going to say last time we spoke to you both, you were like, we've had a bunch of hauntings happen, but we don't know if it's paranormal. And Corinne are like,
Exactly.
they're haunted.
But this was like, I don't
Yeah.
know. One of our theories is that it was the energy of all four of us sat around that table that created movement. And like, I couldn't say that's necessarily like a local ghost, but
Mhm.
did we, through the power of all of our imaginations, create something that moved a table? Like it was so
Right.
weird. And
But
we
like
all
of that,
freaked out.
we talk about stuff like that too, where it's like the idea, like Sabrina just the other day was talking about, like, what if
The residual haunting thing.
yeah, like a residual haunting, like someone moves into a haunted house, the person who lived in the house before was like, oh, nothing haunted ever happened to me there, but that person had something traumatic happen to them in that house, and so that energy like chips off from them and now becomes the haunting in this house for this new person. And Sabrina was like, what if every time that person thinks, like the person who experienced the trauma thinks about that horrible thing that happened to them, the energy comes alive in that place where
Right.
it happened, and other people are perceiving it as
A haunting.
a haunting.
But
Like it's
it's
like
just
we
a
don't
thought.
know. Like hauntings
No.
can just be us and our energy.
Exactly, yeah. But that's what we were talking about before all this happened. We were like, it's also exciting. Like, I don't want to believe that there's nothing there, because then, like, then it's just sad and shit and horrible. But like, all this
scientific theories. We were like, well, what if it is residual energy, and what if it is, and we went on this like proper like philosophical deep dive, and then we're like, all right, let's tip a table, and then the fucking thing smashed.
Well, I'll tell you what, Susie, why don't you start with a story? And while you do that, I'm going to send this clip to Corinne and Sabrina to have a look at in the
amazing.
between the story. Do you want to do that?
Autumn, or as you guys say, fall.
That's her name, Fall.
Yeah, her name's Fall. And this is called Whispers and Shadows on the Blue Ridge Parkway, Virginia, USA.
Virginia's fucking creepy.
And Blue Ridge mountain areas.
Appalachia, is it?
Admin, can we book a flight to
Appalachia.
Virginia, please? Because I want to get the fuck inside Appalachia.
Yeah.
Yeah, how long are you gonna stay? Because we could go
Months.
We could do Salem and Appalachia.
Yes.
Our itinerary is your itinerary.
Okay, great.
Okay, so first off, got to say, love the show, been listening for a good while. I finally worked up the nerve to send in my own ghost story that happened to me recently. And let me tell you, I'm still shaking. I live in the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia, right off the Parkway. For folks who aren't familiar, the Blue Ridge Parkway is 469 miles of winding, misty ribbon of road stretching through some of the prettiest and eeriest country you'll ever see through the Appalachian Highlands, connecting the Great Smoky Mountains National Park in North Carolina to the Shenandoah National Park in Virginia. Folks come from all over the USA to hike its trails, take in the views, and maybe even catch a glimpse of something older than the trees themselves. But locals, we know the parkway's got its own set of rules. First, if you hear whistling, no you didn't. Whistling, especially at night, has a way of calling up things you don't want to meet, and worse, sometimes they whistle back. Second, the parkway changes after dark. Roads stretch longer than they should. Familiar landmarks up and disappear, and cars that were right in front of you just aren't anymore. And the most important one, don't stare too long into the woods at night. Some folks say there are things watching from the tree line that don't move, that don't blink. And if you look too long, well, sometimes they start looking back. I learned that last lesson the hard way last weekend. And I've not been the same since. Last weekend, my best friend Ashley came to visit. I'm getting married in December. Congratulations. So she was coming up to go dress shopping and help with some of the planning. It had been a cold, snowy winter, but that weekend, it was like spring, warm, clear, the kind of weather that practically begs you to go outside. So just before sunset, we decided to take a walk along the parkway. It had been shut down for weeks after a bad ice storm took out a bunch of trees, and since the park rangers hadn't cleared it yet, we figured it was the perfect chance to have the road all to ourselves. No tourists, no traffic, just an open road, and the sound of our boots crunching against the pavement. We walked for a good while, talking about the wedding, enjoying the quiet. And that's when we spotted it. Off to the side of the road, nearly swallowed up by the trees, a cemetery. Now, if you weren't paying attention, you'd miss it. The headstones were tiny, worn down to nothing but lumps of rock, almost completely claimed by moss and time. It was one of those old settler burial grounds, the kind that dot the parkway, mute reminders of the folks who came long before us. We stepped off the road, drawn in by the eerie stillness. There was something heavy about that place, like the air itself was thicker. We walked amongst the stones, brushing away the leaves, trying to read names that have been long since faded. Some were from the 1800s, some even older. And then the woods went quiet. If you've ever spent time in the mountains, you know the kind of quiet I mean. Not peaceful, but wrong. No birds, no bugs, no rustling leaves, just silence. Like the whole forest was holding its breath.
Ugh.
I don't know what I was expecting to see. Maybe a deer, maybe a trick of the light playing with the branches, but this, she's put here, this weren't no deer. I can't say weren't no deer in my posh English accent because I sound like sorry. It was tall, too tall, looming just inside the tree line where the last bits of daylight couldn't quite reach. At first I thought it was a tree trunk, still and solid, blending in with the darkness, but then it shifted. Just the slightest tilt, like it was leaning in, like it had just noticed us. Ashley's grip on my arm tightened. We should go, she murmured, but I could barely hear her over the sound of my own heartbeat hammering in my ears. And then, God help me, it stepped forward.
No.
Not fast, not lunging, just one slow, deliberate step. The way a person might move if they were testing the waters before wading in. And that's when I realised something that nearly stopped my heart. It didn't make a sound. No crunch of leaves, no snap of twigs, like it wasn't touching the ground at all. I felt the air change again, heavier this time. And that's when I heard it. A whistle. Low and slow, floating through the trees.
What the fuck?
Oh my god,
Why
I
did
hate
that
this
just
so
happen?
much.
Oh wait, you
I
guys
You literally froze.
You said a whistle and then you froze. That was so scary.
Oh no!
I don't know if you guys could still hear us, but we were like,
Oh, I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm
Why is whistling
worst-
so fucking
the
horrible?
worst time.
the worst timing.
Okay, a whistle. Low and slow, floating through the trees like a cold breath on the back of your neck. I don't know how I moved. Hell, I don't remember deciding to, but the next thing I knew, Ashley and I were backing away, keeping our eyes locked on whatever the hell that thing was. My gut was screaming at me not to turn back, and then it whistled again, closer. That was it. We ran. I don't think I've ever moved so fast in my life. My boots barely touched the pavement as we sprinted back towards my house, too scared to look back, too scared to stop. The road felt wrong, stretched out like we weren't ever going to reach the end. And I swear to y'all, I could feel eyes on us the whole way. We didn't stop running until we were inside my house, slamming the door shut and locking it behind us, like that flimsy deadbolt could keep out something that walked without a sound. Ashley was the first to speak. Her voice was barely above a whisper. Tell me you heard that. I just nodded. Neither of us wanted to talk about it, not really. Instead, we put on a movie, something light, something normal. We didn't say a word about the cemetery, the shadows, the whistling in the dark. And by the time we finally crashed, I was so tired I figured I'd sleep straight through the night. I was wrong.
Oh no!
I don't know what time it was when I woke up, but I remember the feeling before I even opened my eyes. The air was heavy, like the weight of the whole damn mountain was sitting on my chest. And then I heard it. A whistle. Low, slow,
No.
right outside my bedroom window.
Oh.
I couldn't
Ew.
move. I couldn't
It's
breathe.
right there.
I just lay there staring at the ceiling. And then the footsteps started. Soft and deliberate, walking just beneath the window like something was pacing. I wanted to turn my head and I wanted to look, but every instinct I had screamed, don't. And then, just when I thought I was going to lose my mind from the silence, a voice, low and drawling like the wind through the dead leaves, murmured 3 words. I see you. And the next thing I knew, I was bolt upright in my bed, gasping for air. The room was quiet. There were no footsteps. No whistling.
Another pervert.
Yeah. And then my legs opened. No whistle, nothing but the sound of Ashley breathing steady on the air mattress across the room. A dream, right? It had to be a dream. But when I finally got the nerve to glance towards the window, the curtains were open, and I know we closed them. I haven't been walking in the parkway since, and I don't think I ever will. I hope you enjoyed my story. It's as true as I am, and if you happen to find yourselves in my neck of the woods this December, I've got a wedding invitation with your names on it.
Stunning.
Well, now you can go to Appalachia.
It looks like we're going to Appalachia in about 2 weeks.
Great. I'm there.
And then you're going to that cemetery and repeating everything that Autumn experienced.
I would have to because I really want that to happen.
Oh my God, that's horrific.
It is, but I also would be like, well, that's that then. I can't be a skeptic anymore.
Yeah.
Which is terrifying because it's like you're not safe outside, you're not safe inside, you're not safe in your own dreams. Like it's just following you everywhere.
It's following, yeah, because it's not like, because even one of those experiences by itself is terrifying, but it's just like the continuation and following throughout the evening.
I know, why do we bother like exercising or eating well when any one of these motherfuckers could take us out at any moment?
At any
Have the
moment.
cigarettes, have the McDonald's, live your best life.
That's a lesson we've learned from this episode.
Yeah, before they get you.
Is that like it kind of spoke, right? Like it said that it was.
I see
Yeah,
you.
watching.
Have you guys been to Appalachia? Because I know you've done like an episode of like Appalachia stories.
Well, yeah. So Appalachia like spans many, many states, and we live on the East Coast. So there have been numerous times that we've driven through been in. But it's like
we haven't gone with the intention of experiencing or like investigating paranormal things, but
or like
we've
deep into
driven.
the woods and stuff, because it's
We
kind of
haven't.
It kind of just it's there and you end up in it.
right, because there's so many like big cities and stuff that are technically in the Appalachia region, so it's like you're not even thinking that you're there.
Yeah.
And then
You've not-
the
you've not really
northeast is
experienced anything when you've gone through.
no, and I have been to like the mountains and stuff on the East Coast, in like Maine and stuff, but I think the northeast is like the least haunted part of Appalachia. It's really
Yes, the south that's the most haunted.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay,
the
we'll go south.
New England definitely has hauntings, like the Bennington Triangle in Vermont.
Yeah, but it's a lot of like, the colonial era ghosts and pterodactyls in the sky. But then you go to the south and it's like
Not deer.
something like more ancient than Earth itself is coming to hunt you.
Yeah.
And that is what's so terrifying.
Shall we do another one?
Yeah.
This is from Isabella. Hiya, Hannah and Susie and Hannah, and Sabrina and Corinne.
Thank you.
My name's Isabella, and I live in Cumbria, which I believe is the Lake District.
Yes.
Okay, gorgeous. I started Cumbria. I once got a hickey in Cumbria. I had the best time in Cumbria. It was great.
Sounds like
It was loads of fun. I was about 14 and I just fell in love with this bloke and I never stopped like thinking about him for weeks and weeks and weeks just because he gave me this hickey.
I thought you were going to say you've never stopped. You still love him.
Yeah.
I still do love him. Where are you? If you're listening, hit me up. I started listening to the podcast a couple of years ago and it kept me company during long days at college. You always make me smile and I love the stories. Also, personally, I love your chats and gossip at the beginning of the pods and it makes me want to go for a night out in London. Did you have a night out in London, Sabrina?
I did. So we were there because my dad turned 60 and my dad is a partier. And he acts like he's 20 more than he acts like he's 60. So yes, we had a night out.
Did you go anywhere amazing?
So what's the hotel? The Hotel the Mandrake, I guess, has like a club.
Mm-hmm.
So we went there afterwards and I immediately
Gosh.
this is not my vibe, so I left.
Go
It
and
was
hang out.
1:30 in the morning, so I made it out much later than I usually do.
I wouldn't be out till 1:30 in the fucking morning.
Oh my! I can't do that anymore. I literally can't.
Yeah. No, 9
No.
p.m. is my bedtime.
Horrific.
Yeah.
Well, you heard it here first. Go to the Mandrake. I'm now 18 and for my summer after college. Does that good? No. I went to be a camp counselor at a summer camp in America. My story is about the cabin I stayed in while I was working there. I feel like all American summer camps have a haunting.
I actually got married at like technically kind of a summer camp, and it
Did
was
you?
super haunted. Yeah,
Really?
well, it's a very like bougie resort in Vermont, which is where like I grew up. It's on the lake, but
I
there
want to go
are
to
separate
Vermont
little
so
cabins.
much.
It did feel like summer camp vibe,
It-
and there were
it's very summer
games.
camp
There
vibe.
was like one day where a friend of ours and our friend's boyfriend, like literally went game to game and just like played drinking games. Like whoever lost had to take a drink. Kind of
It was a
It
3-day
was so
long
much
wedding because it was basically summer camp.
Yeah.
Oh, you
And
lived your
people,
best
like,
parent trap life.
Kayaking and canoeing over
Truly.
across the lake to New York, and then like hiking the mountains. It was really cool. But the place is super haunted. It's
That
called Basin
sounds
Harbor in Vermont.
amazing.
Oh God, I'm really sad I wasn't there.
Add it to the itinerary.
Right, we're going to actually, we did say we wanted to go to Vermont. I wouldn't be for the hiking now, but the swimming and the rest of it, stunning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a trampoline too, one of those water trampolines.
A water yeah, that's where I was. I got blacked out on
Shut
the water
the
trampoline.
fuck up. So aggressive.
My
I would
dad just like brought like piles of IPAs, like 12% beers, and I didn't eat anything all day. Glug, 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 glug. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds so good.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sounds my. If I steal
So
that
many
whole
haunted summer
idea,
camps.
sorry,
Oh,
Yeah.
you should. You should.
I'm gonna do it.
Well,
Anyway,
Just side note, when we were in Devon on Berg Island, which is like this tidal island, which like the tide comes in and shuts it off. This is
where
when-
Agatha Christie wrote all of her books.
yeah, like Evil Under the Sun, and she had a writing retreat on this island.
Magical.
It's an amazing hotel because it's just like a time capsule. It's like everything's
Love that.
1920s. It's very like weird.
And then I decided Hannah should get married there and
Yeah.
rent it for a whole week. Because I was
Yeah.
like, that would be amazing.
Yes.
Do that, please. Thank you.
Yeah. And my boyfriend was like, let's price it up. And he's just trying to trap me into marriage. But if we do, you guys are totally invited.
We're coming, yeah. Even if we're not
hell
invited,
yeah.
we'll crash
Yeah.
it.
Well, there's like an amazing little pub next to it. It's basically the hotel and the pub that's on the island. That's
Oh.
it. So
Oh,
you'd rent
that
out the
sounds
whole thing and everyone
dreamy.
just goes
See,
from one
that's so
place to
fun because
another.
it's like you're in one place and everyone's everywhere, and then
Yeah.
it makes a really great time.
Yeah.
It's
And
kind of the perfect time though for someone to get murdered.
But it's so
A murder
small.
mystery. Your wedding
Yeah.
your
Wedding.
murder mystery.
Yeah.
That's even
I would
better.
love
No
actually
one
someone
can
to get
leave the
murdered at my
island.
wedding. No,
I love it.
perfect.
But like,
I love
it's so fucking tiny. There's only about 20 people on this island at once. And I bumped
Yeah.
into a girl I saw 15 years ago. Or like, I like went to drama school with her like 15 years ago. She was on this fucking island at the same time
That's
we were.
wild.
Wait,
Yeah.
that happened to me when I was in Edinburgh. I walked into a bookshop, and there's dozens and dozens of bookshops in Edinburgh, right? And I strike up a conversation with like another customer, and because they were from the States and had a bookshop in the States, and I was like, oh, where in the States? And they said Pennsylvania, and then I said, oh, I'm from like New Jersey, and then the girl working there is like, wait, I'm from New Jersey too. I went to fucking 8th grade with her.
That's
Oh my
mad.
God. You could go
I was
across
like,
the fucking
how?
world and then you're like, it's so
Yeah.
small.
Right, let's get back to summer camp. I'm so
Summer
sorry about my impression. Please don't take offense.
You guys are really good at it. I can't say that we would be as good at
No.
trying to do yours. So
Oh,
we're
try,
not.
please make me feel better.
Yeah, please.
No, I'm
Please.
shy.
Now, yeah, you put us on the spot.
I'm shy. I do a podcast. I'm really shy. During orientation, before all the kids arrived at camp, the cabin was perfectly nice, and I thought going to a cabin with 2 big empty rooms would creep me out. However, it never did, and nothing spooky ever happened, even when I was alone in the cabin. At the end. I think it was about the 3rd week when things got creepy. During the 3rd week, we had the most kids in the cabins than we'd had before, and both rooms 1 and 2 were almost completely full. During the nights, us counsellors would take turns watching the kids for a bit, going to check they're asleep and listening out for them talking, etc., etc. One night, it was me and one of my co-counsellors' jobs to share the duty. It got pretty late, and we were sure all the kids were asleep, so we went into our own room to sit on our beds and get ready for bed. But I bet you weren't. I bet you were getting battered and smoking cigarettes. That's what I would have been. But while still keeping an ear out for any kids getting up or talking. It was probably around 11 or midnight when we heard talking coming from one of the rooms. It sounded really strange, as the talking sounded clear, as if the person talking was right outside the other side of our door. However, at the same time, we couldn't make out what the voice was saying. It sounded more like a kid's voice than an adult's, but it also sounded a bit too low to be any of the kids we were looking after. What, like, I don't even know how that sounds. Exactly that. Susie smashed that. That
Sounds
was
like a
what
little
it
like Smurf.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't even understand. That would freak me out, though, to
Like
be
a
fair.
Furby.
Mid-puberty.
A Furby, that's it. Yeah. My co-counselor who was with me gave me a creeped out look as my eyes went wide. She also gave me a look as to say, this has happened before. And then she told me the story. She said that her first year working at the camp, she'd been put into this cabin. And on some nights, while they were still awake, they'd hear what sounded like kids talking or like sleep talking in the rooms. This happened usually in cabin 1. However, every time they went to check, the cabins were completely silent. Her second year at camp, she was put in cabin 3 and 4. And one night, her and her co-counsellors and a lot of the kids all woke up in the middle of the night to hear screaming and loud crying coming from 1 and 2. But that's like everybody waking up at the same
And
time, hearing it.
screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
The
kinda
next
terrifying,
morning-
too, 'cause you're like, oh my god, is this like the moment that the kids get murdered at the
Right.
summer camp?
Yeah.
Well, that would be your first concern because, like, you're getting blamed for that.
Yeah.
You're
That was-
responsible for their safety.
Exactly. I'd be like, there's going to be so much paperwork. That's the true terror of this. The next morning, the counsellors from cabin 1 and 2 told them that they'd woken up also hearing the kids screaming and crying in cabin 1. And when they went to see what was wrong, half the kids were looking at the entry to the bathroom. So they were all just stood there staring into the bathroom.
Ugh.
So creepy.
It didn't have a door, it just had a large frame. And I have questions about that anyway. Why isn't there a
Open
door
door
on
bathroom.
that?
Yeah, no, don't like that.
Not enjoying that. When the counsellors asked what happened, the kids told them. So they'd said that they'd seen a small person walk past the door and they'd been looking at it ever since as they were scared that someone would walk out, but nobody ever did. So a small, tiny figure walked into this open door bathroom and has never come out again.
I'm like small, like smaller than a human. Like, are we
Like
talking like
I think
a?
it's the Smurf.
It's the
Yeah,
Smurf
like a
again. The
Smurf.
Smurf's back.
Yeah, with the deep gravelly voice.
I would, yeah, sexy Smurf.
It's like half Smurf, half Furby.
Sexy smoker Smurf. No.
Yeah, why am I picturing it has like a lot of gel in its hair, like grease?
Oh, I'd fancy a Smurf, to be fair. Quite a bit weird. The counsellors, probably feeling a bit scared themselves, turned on the bathroom light and went in to check every toilet stall and each shower, but there was no one there. After she told me this story, needless to say, I struggled to get to sleep, knowing that I was sleeping right next to the room that this happened in. Throughout the night, it happened again. We'd hear voices coming from the other room, but they would stop, and honestly, we were just too scared to go and look. There were 3 counsellors per cabin, and when our third co-counsellor returned from the staff lounge that night, we told her what we had heard. Not long after, as she was getting ready for bed, we all heard it again, a low, talking sound, and all 3 of us just looked at each other. We then heard it 1 or 2 more times and decided that we needed to go and check it. My 2 co-counsellors went to check cabin 1, and I went to check cabin 2. If you went on your own, massive
no.
props, because I fucking wouldn't be going. I'd be like, why the fuck do you 2 get to go together and I've got to go on my
Go
own?
alone. Yeah. Why can we
Fuck
all
that.
go together to 1, then we all go together to 2?
It seems so dumb
Horrific.
too, especially after everything that's happening, shrieking, like.
And what if it's a
crying.
real threat?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. What if it's actually a person?
Yeah.
No, thank you.
I guess you're screwed no
Um,
matter. If it's a person, you're screwed. Even
You're
if you are
fucked,
with
yeah.
other people.
I walked slowly into the centre of the room and listened. I couldn't hear a thing. I went round and checked all the kids, and they all looked fast asleep. None of them looked like they were fake asleep at all. Then I turned around and screamed. It wasn't a ghost child. My co-counsellor had walked in behind me, and I just didn't hear him.
No.
The scare made us laugh and diffused the fear we had, and luckily my scream hadn't woken any of the kids. My co-counsellors also said that the kids in cabin 1 were fast asleep and nothing seemed to be wrong, so we went back to our rooms. However, before we went back to sleep, we heard the talking again, but we didn't move. We just tried to ignore it and go back to bed. To this day, I still think it must have been a kid sleep talking. The parents are supposed to let us know if any of their kids sleep talk and walk, etc., but maybe they just didn't know. But I can't help a little shudder every time I think back to that night and how the voice sounded so low and how it almost sounded like it was around us in the room rather than in one of the other rooms. Was cabins 1 and 2 haunted or just the bathroom? Thank you for reading my story. I'm going to go and listen to one of your episodes now. Bye.
My biggest question is if it only happened that one night. And because it sounds like the other counselors who had worked there before said, oh yeah, this happened last year too. Like,
Yeah.
Going back to our conversation in the very beginning of this episode, like with residual hauntings,
Yeah.
is there something that happened on that date many, many years ago that just kind of repeats itself?
Yeah, because like it couldn't be one of the kids if that was happening years before.
Right.
Right.
And
Or
you
one
know
of
if
the
someone's just
counselors,
talking.
a repeat counselor.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
always, every time one of these stories comes through, I always have about like 100 extra questions of like, what's
Right.
the history, and I want to go visit and like
Yeah.
do
Are
a
there any
deep-
deaths at the camp?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, probably thousands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That. Yeah.
Well, and it's also just like one of those things where I feel like summer camp in and of itself leads to probably so many mini seances and Ouija boards.
We're
and
just
like,
telling of ghost stories.
yeah,
and-
light as a feather, stiff as a board. Like people are doing witchy, spooky
And
things
also,
at night.
it's kind of around the time, like, isn't there a theory of like when you're going through puberty and when you're kind of young and you're transitioning to a new phase of your life and your hormones are going mental, there's a lot of like energy and people have a lot of paranormal experiences
Yeah.
when they're
Yeah.
like teenagers and going into like, so there's a lot of people at university or college, like those are the years that people have these big experiences because
Yeah.
they're changing and their minds kind of expanding. I don't know what
It's
that.
probably a really traumatic time as well because a lot of kids are like away
Yes.
from the families.
Yeah.
They're scared.
Anxiety and like summer
Yeah.
camp I found was very anxious time because I was like, oh God, like I don't know how to flirt with the boys there and blah, 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 and I was
Did you
just
go to summer camp?
I went to
So
one, but I remember thinking
jealous.
I didn't thrive.
Oh,
Was
I
it like
feel like
how long was it? Was it like a month long one, or was it just
No,
like
it was
a couple
like
days?
maybe like a week. But I
Yeah.
don't like organized fun, and there was a lot of organized fun. And I was like, stop making me build a fucking raft. Like, I didn't, you know what I mean? Like, I just,
I'd have been the one to smuggle in the booze and the fags and
yeah,
smoke and flirt with the boys.
yeah.
I would have loved every second of that. Do you guys have a story? If you don't, it's absolutely fine.
I'm trying to think of one that we could pull related to these. And we have thousands. Let me see if I can find one easily. My foot fell.
Oh, I sent you that. Did you get the clip as well of the table?
Let's see. Did you email it to us, or did you?
I sent it to you on Instagram.
Let me see.
Oh yeah, let's get a live reaction.
So we've sent the clip.
What the fuck?
I know you see that. Like you can see our hands.
It's so much like it's
It
a lot
moved.
faster and more aggressive than I thought.
You know,
Yeah.
Like it's like,
Doof. Yeah, it
That is
properly-
wild.
oh
I
my
know,
god!
I know.
It was
You
just
guys
so
were all
weird
just, like,
that we've said
screaming
we're going to
too.
lift our
I was
hands up.
startled.
I know, it's scary.
That is so scary.
Whoa.
Yeah, horrific. In terms of a story, like because we've heard your haunting in Edinburgh, maybe Corinne, if you've got like you've got a
Yeah.
personal haunting, does anything happen
She's
to you?
got lots.
Experience?
I
We
have
can
1,000
close off.
hauntings.
Yeah, I
That is
know.
the
I
most
remember
haunted
this.
person I know.
Yeah, literally.
Okay, well, last time I talked, or we were talking with you guys, I think I was pregnant, right?
Yeah, I was going to say there's been a baby since.
Right.
Yeah, and so with a baby comes a lot of new hauntings.
Right.
And so, well, I guess I'll just talk about like the house that I live in now.
Yeah.
So, like a small amount of backstory to the house. Like, we moved into this house. We didn't like personally know the people that we purchased it from, but have like chatted with them before, and it didn't seem like there was anything weird about the property. We move in, and it feels
You're still pregnant at this point when you move in.
yes.
You haven't given birth to Noah yet.
I thought you
No,
meant
I
now.
find
I was
out.
like, I don't think that's normal, is it? I think you should be pregnant still now.
Yeah. It's a 3-year pregnancy.
I found out like
It was an
a couple
elephant.
of weeks after moving in that I was pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
by the time we moved in, I was already pregnant. But the house kind of felt like a lemon of a house. Like it had good bones, but everything was falling apart. Everything was breaking. And so my attitude was very much like I was really mad at everything that was happening because we were just shoving money into this house. And so I was making a lot of changes, doing a lot of things, not speaking very nicely about the house. And my husband and I, we kept waking up in the middle of the night to these really loud crashes, and weird things started happening. And one of the mornings we heard a crash at 6 a.m. and we came downstairs, and 2 separate curtain rods had been ripped off of the wall and bent like in half.
Oh my
And so I was
gosh.
like, oh my god, what the fuck is happening? And then in our office where we're sitting right now, before it was our office and this recording space, there was nothing in here. And I was just standing in this completely empty room. Dirt materializes and falls on my head out of nowhere.
Just dirt.
Dirt.
What the
Like
fuck?
it was like a plant tipped over and dirt fell on my head.
Are you in the house right now? Is that what the studio is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, whoa. That's
So it was like
mad.
all these weird things. And I was like, okay, maybe it's like a previous resident who owned this house like way before us and is really upset that I'm talking so negatively about the space. So I started apologizing to the house. I started explaining what we were doing and why we were doing it. And it seemed like things were like maybe getting a little bit better for a while. I met another neighbor who grew up here and now lives in her childhood home. And I was like, has anything weird ever happened in your house? Or is there anything you can tell me about the neighborhood? And she said our neighborhood used to have one mansion on top of the hill, and all the houses that existed were just like the property of this one mansion. The mansion itself, the people who lived there only lived in one small corner of the house because the rest of the mansion they were convinced was overrun by ghosts and they were terrified to live there.
Which I'm obsessed with. It feels very Beauty and the Beast. Like the
Oh my
East Wing is
God.
off limits.
So there was a point where they eventually like abandon the home and like run away. They sell off their house, subdivide the entire what is now my neighborhood, and there are now 2 new homes standing in place of where that one mansion used to be. I'm a few houses away. The person that I was talking to, this neighbor, said that when she goes up towards the hill, her dog won't go anywhere near where that house used to be. It like freaks out near the driveway, near that property. So she was like, maybe there's something kind of coming down from the hill to your house. Because I was like, we're having some weird things happen. So then I have my son, Noah, and all of the things that start happening when I have Noah's seem, I suffered from really bad postpartum depression and anxiety. And so I feel like a lot of the things that were happening were relatives coming through and trying to help me. It was like, you know, I'm walking into Noah's room and a light gets turned on in the middle of the night. Or I'm feeling really, really crappy and I see footsteps and someone like walking right outside of the room to like check on me when I'm in a really low spot.
Did your microphone get really weird?
Yeah, it got really loud just now.
This is so weird. I've got the most like clear deja vu. I just knew you were going to say all that about you
Really?
telling us the story and looking at Susie there. Like that is so. I've never had that bad then.
Yeah, because I didn't tell you guys this before because it
No,
Hasn't happened yet.
I hadn't had my child yet.
that is so. I've never had
That's
it
weird.
that clear before.
Yeah. Okay, so then things start getting really scary again. Because at first it's like, well, first it was scary. Then I was like, sorry, house. And they were like, it's okay. And then I have my
It's
child
okay.
and I'm like, I'm super depressed and I think I might run away from home. And they're like, we got you. We'll make you feel like more comfortable and soothed and like someone else is here in the middle of the night. But then a few months after having Noah, things get weird again. So I was breastfeeding Noah, so I didn't go downstairs at night. Like there was no need for me to be downstairs. And I had been feeling weird in the house. Like I felt like the footsteps and the people that were outside of the door in the middle of the night, like checking on me, were no longer my relatives. And it started to feel creepy. It started to feel like I was being watched. And so I started to get a little bit scared, but I didn't tell anyone this. A few weeks later, my neighbor, who is like directly next to my house, has a full view from his backyard into my kitchen and the whole backside of my house. He is like, oh my gosh, I have to show you this picture. He had this whole like debacle where a possum was eating his peaches. So he was out at 11 p.m. at night with a flashlight catching this possum.
That's so much.
Yeah. So he
Get away
caught
from
the
our
possum.
picture.
Yeah, he's showing me the photo and he was like, well, I wanted to show you this too because I'm sure you were wondering what I was doing because you were like, I saw you seeing me outside like with the possum. And I was like, wait, what? And he was like, yeah, I saw you in your kitchen. It was 11 p.m. at night and you were standing in your kitchen at like the sink looking out. And I was like,
No.
what? That's what you were doing. I was not downstairs. That was not me.
Oh,
But he
fucking
saw me
hell.
standing at my kitchen. So again, I don't tell anyone. My husband is super scared of this stuff. Like we don't, he can't even watch like a Halloween movie. Like he has no interest in this.
Yeah.
So I don't tell him because he's going to be freaked the fuck out. So I'm just sitting with this. Maybe a week later, my mom is in town and she's staying in our guest bedroom. And she wakes up in the middle of the night. And standing above her is a woman who looks just like me. And she thought it was me at first, but like got a really creepy vibe and then realized it like looked like me, but was like just off enough. And it wasn't me. And then my mom, like I grew up in a very haunted house in Vermont. So my mom's had a ton of experiences. So she was just like, go away. You're not welcome. Whatever. Closes her eyes. It's like, we're going to ignore that. And I'm not going to tell Corinne. But then I told my mom a couple days later when she was still with us, I was like, some weird things have been happening. And my neighbor saw me in the kitchen when I wasn't in the kitchen at night. And she was like, oh my God, I didn't want to tell you this because I didn't want to scare you. But I saw you the other night standing over me in the guest bedroom. And this was just like a thing that kind of kept happening where there was just like this weird, darker energy. And it seemed to be manifesting as me. And so
I have a whole theory about it.
Yeah, so we've talked
Oh,
to a
go
lot
on.
of people about it. And then
I think so. Corinne had a lot of postpartum depression and that
like super bad.
Yeah, after giving birth to Noah, that kind of going back to residual hauntings again. Like I think a part of her chipped off
in that trauma.
And almost was like haunting herself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it
like
was so
really
like a
hurt,
version of you.
angered.
Yeah.
Yeah, part of me, this like, mourning being.
Because
just,
it's
like,
doing
walking
things
around.
that you would be doing.
Yeah.
I've actually got chills thinking of
Yeah.
being like, you saw me chase a possum from the fucking
Yeah, right.
And he like, he knows that we have a podcast. He thinks it's ridiculous. He calls it the radio show. Like he's a lot older. He doesn't understand
The
it.
radio
He thinks
show.
that like talking about the paranormal is super dumb. So I totally was like, I will never tell this guy that I wasn't actually standing in my kitchen. He's going to think that I'm that.
Oh, no, I would have
Yeah.
told him immediately.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. But
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Creepy.
Yeah. It is creepy.
Very creepy.
And it's like,
It's like, has anything, or do you feel
There's-
like that's kind of died down?
I do think it's died down. I don't feel the sort of like creepy being watched, like something's after me energy, and other people have stopped seeing me roaming around my house.
Unless it's the real you.
Yeah. Recently we've had some things where it's like at 3 a.m. on the dot, I'm in my son's room and the humidifier is being turned on and off by something, or like his toys will be turned on and
But
stuff.
that feels like a different new
But
haunting.
it does feel different. It's a different energy.
If we'd been sent this story, immediately both me and Hannah would be like, get out, move out, don't,
Yeah.
why are you still there? What the fuck are you doing? Leave.
Okay, well, so one small, I guess, like, we learned that part of this story, like the dirt falling on my head, we actually learned who it was in a very weird way. We were filming My Big Fat Fabulous Life on TLC with Whitney, who's like the star of the show. She came to Salem with
She invited us to be a part of it. We're like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we went
What
to
is this?
house. Where?
What is it? What is it? What is My Big Fat Fabulous Life?
Oh, okay. So it's about Whitney Thor. She's this woman, and it's like 13 seasons, just like about her life. It's kind of like
It's a
Keeping Up with the
reality TV show.
Kardashians, but it's about
Love.
Whitney's life.
God, amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So originally, like, her and her girlfriends wanted to take a trip up to Salem. So we're like, oh my gosh, we'll do haunting stuff with you. So we went and did an investigation. And in our communication with a spirit, it basically got brought up that, like,
It was
what
a spirit
happened.
attached to you.
Yeah.
And we were trying to figure out who it was. So we asked a bunch of questions.
Yeah. And from all that, like, line of questioning, we learned that the spirit who dumped dirt on my head, he dumped dirt on my head to try to give me a clue as to who he was, which was the specific spirit from the Conjuring house, where when we did an overnight investigation there, I got along really well with one spirit there named Peter, who was
You're just
very-
like going out for drinks with the ghosts.
Yeah. He
Yeah,
was
she
like
brought him
very
home.
funny. He was super funny. I was like, we were vibing. But he was buried in the dirt under the ground and was like making a bunch of jokes about being worm food at the time when we were in the Conjuring house. And yeah, then he, months and months later, he then
Threw
comes
dirt
forward
on your head.
and is like, hey, that was me. I threw dirt on your head.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So at least we have the dirt one solved, but everything else is kind of a little bit of a mystery.
That's so well, I, for one, can't wait to come visit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also, here's the thing, is like, yes, the Corinne version of you haunting you is scary, but I feel like it doesn't matter where Corinne goes, she's gonna be
Yeah.
haunted.
Oh, well, I'll say
Really?
one more small thing that happened, which was actually,
Please.
this is like a nice thing in case anyone's a little freaked out by what I've shared so far.
I'm
But
freaked
my-
out.
It is very scary. My Grammy passed away recently, a few months ago. And there was, like, maybe 2 days before she actually passed away, there was a moment where all the hospice nurses called in, everyone, they were like, this is it. She's dying. Like, this is her moment. And she actually, like, stopped breathing for, like, a good minute or two. And then, like, came back. Anyway, I made the connection with my aunt when talking to my aunt, like, a week later at my Grammy's funeral, because she did pass a couple days later. I was like, it's so weird. Like, a couple days before, I had this experience at my house, and it made me think of Grammy. So it was the middle of the afternoon. I was feeding Noah in his room, and I see small footsteps, which my Grammy was like 4 feet tall. Like, she was so tiny. I see like small footsteps underneath the doorway of his door. And this is the middle of the afternoon. This is not like...
Well, like in the carpet,
or
kind
anything.
of.
It was like the shadow of footsteps.
Oh.
And then the door knob turns and the door opens. It opens like 2 feet so you can see who's on the other side. And there's absolutely no one standing there.
That you could see.
That you could see. And so and then I told my aunt this a week later, and I was like, it was so strange. It made me think of Grammy, but like, you know, she hadn't passed yet. And my aunt was like, well, what time was this? And what day was it? And I told her, and she was like, that was like the exact moment that like Grammy stopped breathing, and we all thought she died the first time.
Oh,
And she
I have
wants
got
to come visit you and Noah, which I think is so sweet.
She had never met my son Noah because my Grammy had like super horrible. She was super lost in dementia at that point.
Oh my God.
But yeah, so like the first moment when she like almost died, she came and checked on the baby.
That's so beautiful.
That is
That's
sweet.
so sad.
That's brought tears to my eyes. And I'm a cold-hearted twat, so it takes a lot to get to me. Oh, that's so nice. Do you know, this is going to go on for hours. I had a really similar situation in that my dad's mom, when she died, I was really young. And I think my sister was a baby, so I was like 6 or something. She was a toddler basically. And then my mum had my brother, and she always used to say like how much she loved me. She was obsessed with me and my sister, but she was like, there's nothing like a little boy. Like there's nothing like a little boy. And then when my mum had my brother, she was like, oh, your mum would have loved to meet Harry. And one night I was at my nan's and somebody reminded me of it, my mum's mum. And I just felt like my nan was there. So I got a picture. I was still, again, like really young. I was probably like 10, 11, something like that. And I got a photo of my brother and put it out on the bed to show my nan, who was dead, to be like, look, we've got a little baby brother. And I left the room almost like to give her a moment with the picture.
Yeah.
And then I walked back in and it was on the floor, but just like on the same. But I thought that was like totally normal. Yeah, it was
like,
really weird.
Your witchy intuition, like you just.
But I was so young, I wouldn't have even. It was just weird
do
that.
Do that.
Yeah, I haven't thought about that in a really long time. Actually, that just reminded me of it.
That's
It's
really
almost like she was
sweet.
speaking to you to be like, okay, I need
Yeah, who'd have thought those ones would get so wholesome?
Who knew?
I didn't.
Rimming again.
We haven't even said rimming. We haven't talked about rimming at all.
Rimming.
You guys are looking
What is
so
rimming?
confused. Rimming? Do you know what's rimming in the US?
Well, what is it?
It's a sexual act where one person licks another person's bumhole.
Oh, we call that rim job.
Rim job. I was like,
Fine.
it must have travelled further. By the way, I'm not pro rim jobs. I find it. It's one of the biggest questions I have in life as to why people are doing it. Before you think that we're like big rimmers.
I don't know why I brought it up. It's just that we why did I bring it
It's
up?
the appropriate pivot from like, oh, you know, our grandmothers died.
Yeah.
And you're like, rimming?
Well, okay,
Oh
to be
my
fair,
God.
our
Oh, yeah.
podcast is literally named after a very inappropriate
Porno.
porno.
From
So
Of course.
like late 2000s.
so it's
yeah.
only natural that we all bring up something
Yeah, in a
sexual.
way, this is all meant to be. That was so much fun, and thank you for being on the pod.
Thanks
Oh
for
my God,
having
thank
us.
you. It was so nice to be with you guys again.
And we'll finally see you in real life in October.
You know what? Last time we chatted, I'm pretty sure you said the exact same thing.
Yeah, we did. But this time, because we normally do a Halloween show, but this time we've actually planned that we're going to do it early in the month, and then we're going to fucking come out.
I love it.
And I'm a 5-minute walk from the American Embassy, so don't want to brag.
Why do
You're
you
like,
have
I've
to
been
go
waiting
there?
to say this.
Connections.
Guys, listen, I'm going to have visas coming out my ass.
Obsessed. Well, you go and see to your ass visas, and we'll see you guys next time.